Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first balance video of patch 1.30 that is now on the PTR and can be tested. Not only hero balance anymore, but unit balance changes as well. So let's not waste any time and dive into the presentation because it's quite a lot. As I said, it's time for the humans. And man, they have the current world champion, they have the current bronze medalist of GCS, or WGL, how it's called now. So they seem to be rather strong, but they are still complaining, especially with the matchups of Orc and Undead. So will this change? Will this be better? Will human be overpowered now? We'll see about that. We start with the Archmage, so a hero balance change for a start. It's a little bit of a trade-off at first, because we're dealing with the Water Elementals here. Water Elementals got their HP decreased. So it's not too much, it's 25 HP on level 1, 50 HP on level 2, 75 HP on level 3, so they're not the super water torrent anymore, but it's like between 5 and 8% of HP that's gone. I don't think that's too bad. They can be dealt with it, especially you will see in the patch notes that this spell in general is weaker now, so Water Elementals shouldn't suffer too much, I think. And on the other side, they got their damage increased, and that's pretty sick, man. Like, they were before one of the best DPS summons we had in the game, and now they're even stronger. Like, on level 1, you won't notice it too much, like 5%, like 5 to 6% across the board. I don't know if level 3 is too strong now, or level 2 is too strong against burrows especially, if you do an early push, but we'll see about that. Thing is, we won't see them that often anymore, because damn Brilliance Aura got nerfed. This is it. The mana regen multiplier is down on level 2. Like, level 1 is untouched, that's fine. On level 2, down from 1.5 to 1.25, that's still okay, but a super hard nerf on level 3, like from 2.25 to 1.75. That is a drastic change. It's a 22% decrease of Brilliance Aura. It's pretty sick. Let's see how human play will change, because it revolves a lot around Brilliance Aura and having mana all the time. So that's gonna be very interesting. Will the Mountain King be a viable first hero choice, or more summon heroes? We'll see about that. Maybe Archmage not untouchable anymore. And a little buff, the ultimate got changed a little bit. It has a bigger radius now, but I think that won't affect too much. Oh, won't. Here we go. Next thing that got changed is Militia. The duration got decreased from 45 to 40 seconds, so it should be easier to harass an upcoming expansion when there was a creep going on and you join. So Militia will turn into peasants sooner now. That's fair, I guess. Footmen got changed as well, especially the defense ability. There was a bug before, so now that bug is fixed, so the patch notes say it consistently reflects damage from piercing again. What that means exactly, I don't know. We have to talk to the developers. Maybe we will do that in an upcoming video. But I heard that's a buff for defend, and it should reflect more than it previously did. The reduction is a little reduced, and the reflect damage is reduced as well, both by 10%. I think that's fair. Defend was really strong against Night Elf, and especially Undead. So a little nerf is justified, I guess. Going to the Sanctum, we have a nerf, or a buff on priests, or both actually. Casting range is higher now, from 500 to 600, so you can stay a little further in the back to use the spell. But there's now a 5-second cooldown, and I think that will change quite a bit. There's not too much Dispel now, as I said, Dispel in general got nerfed. And spells like Roar, Spirit Link, that has no downtime. So you can consistently cast that, and maybe we have those spells more often now. Quite equally is the Spellbreaker, because his spell steal, you know, when you steal a Reju or you steal a Roar and give it to your own unit, that cooldown has been doubled. And I think that's also pretty sick. Like, on paper, it doesn't seem too much for most of people, I guess, because then I built more Spellbreakers, I can steal it all the time, no problem. But since you can spam Spirit Link a little and Roar as well, there should be more uptime for those buffs now, I guess. So that's also quite a nerf for the human. In my opinion, the heaviest nerf comes now because it's multi-team time. Oh boy, that multi-team got nerfed pretty hard. The area of effect got decreased. You know, there's full damage radius, half damage radius, and quarter damage radius. Full damage, of course, one-time multiplier. Half damage is 40% of the damage, and the quarter damage, it's not quarter damage, but only 1/10 of the original damage. So, what happened? Half damage radius got reduced from 150 to 100. Quarter damage radius got nerfed from 250 to 200. I will show you what that means in a picture in the upcoming slide. Fragmentation shards got nerfed 3 times. It was a ridiculously strong spell. We saw that in many 2-2s where humans just went for morph teams. And I think that unit was too strong, especially on tier 3, so that's pretty good. Also here, the half damage radius got reduced to 225 from 275. Also, the damage got reduced from 18 to 15. So 3 damage less per shot in the area of effect of the half damage radius. And the quarter damage radius got reduced as well. Or increased in this point back to 275. So the radius remains the same of the fragmentation shards, but in general it will make less damage because also the quarter damage radius of fragmentation shards is reduced from 12 to 10. So what does that mean? This. In the middle, you see a little green circle. That's the full damage radius. That is basically the radius of a Footman as well. So here you can see the old multi-team damage was big, and a lot of that damage radius was the half damage. So that got decreased. The radius in general got decreased. So that's quite a bit of range there, right? So you don't make so much area of effect damage anymore with multi-team. Normal damage. And fragmentation shards, that's a quite interesting topic, because the half damage radius in the old version was higher than the quarter damage radius. That makes no sense at all, but that was the case. So they figured that out, they reduced that, so the damage, or the area of effect is the same, but you can see before, the yellow circle is a half damage radius, that got reduced, and now it's working properly, I guess. Plus, the damage reduction in general on fragmentation shards makes multi-teams a lot weaker, in my opinion. We haven't seen them too often recently. It was more like Riflemen, and a lot of top pro humans skipped the workshop entirely, but yeah, with that change, I don't think we will see them too often anymore. The big buff in the human army, and what I think could make this race broken, is flying machines, aka gyrocopters. You know, they were for a long time the anti-air solution, especially against undead. So you mass them, and then the only chance to counter is full mana destroyers and a panda, basically. So what they did with flying machines is increase their hit points by 50. That is 25%. Pretty sick. They are a little bit more expensive now, but we'll see that later. The damage, the anti-air damage got increased as well by almost 20%. So you see, 25% HP boost, 20% anti-air boost. And yeah, they are a little more expensive now, but 10 gold, man. What is 10 gold? You can still mass them, it's no problem. And the biggest thing, flak cannons unlocked with key. Tier 2 area of effect, anti-air damage, that got buffed. And they're more tanky now. How do you want to counter that? You will see later that the panda got heavily nerfed, that destroyers got heavily nerfed, so I don't see how any race is able to counter flying machines now. Bad riders, of course, but come on, you know, you don't play gyrocopters versus Orc. You can't play Gargs, they get wrecked because of the area of effect and piercing damage. You can't play destroyers because they are weaker now, their bonus damage is weaker. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that's broken. Like, flak cannons tier 2 is broken. But okay. Change that we've all hoped for quite a long time. Siege engines, the tanks, doesn't cost 3 supply at this point, but 4. So it's harder to triple workshop tank now. They just cost more, and you, like, for 12 supply you got 4 tanks last time, now you get 3. That's quite a big nerf. They could be more expensive, they could have a different armor, but whatever, I think it's fine. A few other changes. Masonry upgrade got a little more expensive. 25% to 15% more gold and like a lot more lumber actually. Between 100 and 33%. Will that change too much? I think it will delay masonry a little, but it's still like level 3 is still ridiculously strong. I think it's too strong, but it's a decent start of a change for masonry, I guess. Ivory towers, of course, beloved for tower rushes or tower supported pushes, cost more now, and it's not 3 of them in the shop anymore, but 2. Another long time complaint is that the human orb is useless, and I think it will remain useless. It's more expensive now, 50 gold. It does twice the damage and has a bigger radius, but it's only 10. Like 10 radius is basically nothing. AoE in this game is not really important. You can see that on Cleave on the Pit Lord. So, sorry. I don't think people will buy the Orb of Fire too much. For Demon Hunter would be nice, for Blade Master would be nice, like for damage dealers as heroes, but Human doesn't have that. Archmage, no. Mountain King, no. Blood Mage, no. Paladin, of course not. So, yeah. That's the human balance changes. What do you think, guys? Is it too strong now? Or is it super weak because of the Spellbreakers, Priests, and Mortar Team nerfs? And the Water Elemental nerf buff thing? Brilliance Aura? Is that too much? Will we see less casters? Or will we see only flying machines at this point? Awesome. So let me know what you guys think. This was Back to Warcraft with the human balance changes for 1.30 PTR. And if you are a human player, go to the PTR, check it out, play it against other players, and yeah. See you guys with the next video that will cover the orcs.